What is going on, beautiful people? It is BetSlam coming at ya. UFC 300 is this weekend. We have Charles Oliveira taking on Arman Tsarukyan. This is another fight that I'm just fucking fizzing for. Guys, fan favorite, Charles Oliveira. It's always the champion has a name, and his name is Charles Oliveira. Now, Charles Oliveira, a legend of the sport, 34-9 record. 34-9 is a huge freaking number. He is a big lightweight, stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He did fight at the featherweight division, and he had mixed success. But since coming up to lightweight, he has been on a tear other than his loss to the champion, Islam Makhachev. But I do want to point out a couple of things from Charles Oliveira's earlier career, because I hate to drag the skeletons out of the past, but this is something that you all need to think about, because a lot of people are betting with their heart, betting with Charles' recent form, and not looking at what has happened in the past with Charles Oliveira. These are some names. We have Jim Miller, Cowboy Cerrone, Cub Swanson, Frankie Edgar, Max Holloway, Ricardo Lamas, Anthony Pettis, and Paul Felder. All of those fighters have a victory over Charles Oliveira inside of the UFC. That's a lot of losses, that is. He has a tremendous amount of wins, but to lose to all of those fighters, to me, cannot give you the faith that a lot of people have. A lot of people are betting unwaveringly. They're throwing their own money, their own hard-earned money, on Charles Oliveira, saying, he's going to get it done for me. That guy's a lock. Charles Oliveira is more dangerous than Arman Tsarukyan. Whereas the reality of the matter is, Charles Oliveira has been in the UFC for 10 years longer than Arman Tsarukyan. 10 years longer. But Arman Tsarukyan has come in, and other than his decision loss to Islam Makhachev, he has looked unscathed and perfect. Arman Tsarukyan is that guy, and I think he's getting the Islam Makhachev treatment here, which is until he becomes champion, everybody's just going to keep saying, he's not that good, he's not that good, he's not that good. Oh, wait, he is the lightweight champion. It's the same thing that happened to Islam Makhachev, especially right up until just before he became champion. And I think it's happening here with Arman as well. Arman Tsarukyan is a cerebral striker. He has phenomenal kicks. He's got good in and out movement, and he has wrestling to match it. He is a young man with a bright future ahead of him. And I think that he is going to get past Charles Oliveira here. Charles Oliveira, dangerous, big, heavy-handed striker, great submissions. But I think that Arman's wrestling is going to dominate Charles Oliveira's submission attempts if he tries to go for them. And I don't think Arman's even going to need to get there. I think that this is a straight-up kickboxing match. I still think Arman is probably going to finish Charles Oliveira here. I am not the biggest Arman Tsarukyan fan, but when watching the tape between the two of these guys, I cannot ignore the facts that Charles Oliveira gets hit, and sometimes it almost seems like he has to be on the brink of death in his fights before he can really turn it up and finish his opponents. Whereas Arman Tsarukyan, I know he can win minutes, I know he can secure takedowns, I know that he can win rounds, and he can finish fights. So when people are saying Charles Oliveira is the more dangerous guy, yes, he might have a higher finishing rate, but as far as danger of winning me a fight, winning me a bet, Arman Tsarukyan is the more dangerous guy because he can sink minutes, he can knock you out, he can do it all. So give me Arman Tsarukyan here. The value play is probably by decision, but even on the money line, I still believe there is value here. Give me Arman Tsarukyan to defeat the fan favorite, Charles Oliveira.